whatever you guys need.
What do you like about your roster? I know you're just getting back in town, but the new additions, and do you think you addressed everything you needed to address following last season?
I would like to have, I think, one more in a perfect world. But I think we're better. You know, we obviously have a little bit more depth on paper. But, you know, last year this time, we had more depth too. So unexpected things can obviously happen. But yeah, I like our roster. We are fortunate to get KJ and Juan and Hunt all come back.
Do you feel like you've reached the 8 starter mark that you're trying to get, 8 starting caliber players?
I think I'd like one more. I think that with Zach and Marco, I mean, they're good enough to play a lot of minutes, but, you know, I'd like to have a little bit more depth, to be honest with you. So we're still looking, but if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But I like where we're at.
With El Marco and Jamari coming into sophomore years, are there any expectations this year for them? What do you hope to get out of this?
Not really anything, just to have a big jump, which I think they should have a big jump. Usually, I think kids show the biggest step usually after their freshman year and before their sophomore year. But you know, the good thing about it is with the guys that we have on the surface, you know, those guys won't have to probably have a production moment like. Marco was put in a tough situation last year. He's talented. He's really a good prospect. He's going to be a terrific player. But he'd only been playing 3 years of basketball, and then you throw him into starting at Kansas. That was a little bit probably much and a little unfair to him at that time. But he'll be more prepared this year.
What are your hopes for AJ and the role that he can have with you guys?
Well, he's got to be one of our best players. There's no doubt. He can score. He needs to get where he defends and rebounds as prolifically or proficient as he does as a scorer. But I do think that he's got a chance to be, you know, as good an athlete / player as we've had in a while. But I don't think he plays all areas of the game as well as he does when the ball's in his hands. So he can improve in those areas.
When you see guys like AJ and Rylan and Zeke hit the portal, do you automatically say, we got to get those guys? I mean, is that your frame of mind, or do you approach it differently?
Probably approached it a little differently. We had to get them as long as it fit with what we're trying to do. There's a lot of rumors out there with portal guys in NIL. And you hear the rumors, and you know, we had to put together a roster based on what looked best with what we have returning and what fit from an NIL standpoint that we could do. So there were some guys in the portal that, even though we'd love to have those guys, but it wasn't as good a fit for us. And so certainly with those guys, I think the more we got into it and the more we dove into their situation and how they could impact us, I think it became obvious they were good fits. But the first indication back in April, we got to get these guys. I think that may be a little strong, but after we got to know the situation, we felt that way.
Are you targeting anybody yet specifically to add?
We're talking to some guys. So hopefully we can find someone that fits with what we're trying to do and would fit and complement the guys we already have. You know, we need some guys. Guys from a role standpoint that can make the other guys look better, not necessarily be a guy that you would think come in and you know, score all the points or anything like that. That'd be nice, obviously, but how do we have somebody that can come in and be a nice asset to us and benefit the other one's skill levels? You know, if you go back and look at it, you know, a Tyrell Reed, a Brady Morningstar, a Travis Rutherford. There's a lot of guys that we have that fit that role. A Kevin Young, you know, those type of guys. It'd be nice if we could find the right one that fits us.
Would you look overseas?
Yeah, we would, but it's not quite as simple as just looking overseas because a lot of those overseas players are playing professionally and they have to get out of contracts, or maybe not playing professionally, but in a professional league in which they're amateurs playing in the professional league, which still those teams most of the time want them to stay so they can become professionals at a later date with them. So it's not always easy with the international guys.
Will you miss Johnny's threes?
Yeah, I think perimeter shooting, Johnny shot it unbelievably well the first half of the games in which he started. And then at the second half, he didn't shoot it well at all. But we saw that he was a very capable shooter. We need to replace that, and hopefully we have. I actually think that Rylan Griffin probably shot it better at Alabama than what even Johnny shot it at Kansas throughout the entire year. But the thing about it is, you still got to go do it when people are running at you. And we would have loved to have had Johnny back, but the bottom line, that was a long shot for him.
Is it hard to find people in the portal who have the mindset of coming in and playing a role when you've got the level of talent you already have on the roster?
I think everyone's different. I think some people are in the portal for NIL. I think some people are in the portal because they played at other places and they want to win. I think some people are in the portal because they want a bigger role. I think some people are in the portal because they want to be a part of a particular program. I think it just varies on different guys, different motives. But what I have found out is guys that have been in college for a while and maybe can make one more goal on it, and if they haven't won consistently where they've been, that winning does kind of drive their motivation many times.
Rylan and AJ are two guys you guys recruited in high school. In the portal, how important are the prior relationships with guys?
I think that in both those situations, they both wanted to be at Kansas. So they wouldn't have wanted to be at Kansas if we hadn't recruited in high school. So I do think that's important. I've sat down with both their families and talked about it back when they were in high school, and it didn't work out for whatever reasons. But sometimes it's nice to get a second chance, or to get a mulligan, so to speak, not only from our standpoint but from the kids' standpoint too.
What are your